Hi there guys, today I'm going to be doing a quick speed painting I think. Yeah, a lot of people have asked me in the past, why don't you do a speed painting tutorial? And I've always kind of avoided it, to be honest. It's more down to confidence, I don't consider myself to be the greatest artist in the world, and I've never really been good enough to do a tutorial. But I thought, I think it comes to a point in time when you're able to do these sort of things. I've been getting a lot more commissions recently, so I'm getting paid to do this stuff, so I thought, maybe I am ready. I'm not too sure, but yeah, anyway, I'm just going to do a quick sort of 10-minute speed paint and just show my process and how it all works. The reason for speed painting, I should say, is because whenever you work in a studio and you're working on sort of production paintings, you tend to need to do work really fast, and when I say fast I mean stupid fast. Like, you come into work in the morning and you do 4 paintings before 12 o'clock, and then after 12 o'clock you have lunch, and after lunch you work on your 4 paintings for the rest of the day and you detail them, so you got 4 full finished paintings per day. So you can imagine how much work that is. So to do them that 3 hours work in the morning just to establish sort of the 3 paintings that you're going to be working on for the rest of the day is a colossal amount of work in such a short space of time, and you need to consider a lot of things in that time period. You need to consider what's going into the shot, how big the shot is, the lighting of the shot, the composition of the shot. It's a lot of stuff to take in, especially in, say, a 45-minute period that you're actually doing these quick sketches. And these sketches tend to be done in block silhouettes, as you can see right now. I'm just working on top of a gradient layer. That's my gradient. My horizon line's been established, which is the lighter part over here. Then I've got my block building-ish thing, and then another building in the background. And these are going to be the same type of building, by the way. The reason why I always do 2 buildings like this, or 2 or 3, sometimes you can have a multitude of buildings. The reason why it's good to have multiple buildings is to say, okay, this building is the same as this building, and they're just further away from each other. So at the minute I'm just adding these little pipes and ledges and stuff just to make it look manufactured, really. But with your painting, obviously, you'll have, if you can time yourself to 45 minutes, then you've obviously got a lot more time to work on these little details, these little ledges, panels, wiring to hang off, things like that. And it's nothing mental. I mean, you don't have to be the most amazing artist in the world just to do these simple landscape shots, and that's what I love about these shots. I mean, you can have so much fun with them without having to worry about sort of artistic issues. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's like some sort of docking bay, or yeah, I like the idea of a docking bay. Why not? Little spaceships. Cool. And they're just dots. They're not even, it isn't the most amazing piece of artwork in the world, but you zoom out and you can kind of tell, actually, that could be anything. Okay, so I'll add a 3rd building just to balance the whole shot out composition. And just so you know, guys, I'm using the most basic bamboo Wacom tablet in the universe at the minute. It's nothing crazy. Version of Photoshop doesn't matter because I'm using default brushes and I'm using settings and all that sort of stuff that was in Photoshop 3. So yeah, none of that really matters. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of blur out, well, not blur out, sorry, I'm gonna drag the opacity down of this building that's further away to basically give a good sense of depth. So now that I've done that, this building is the same size as this one, and that is a hell of a lot bigger distance in the background now. Okay, let's go back. Excellent. So over the top of all that, I'm gonna sample the lightest area from the horizon line, drag it up over the top, and this is on a different layer, by the way, so I can still go in there, I can edit my buildings whenever I want, and it won't actually affect the gradient. So gradient's over the top there, like that. And now we want to add a foreground. So foreground, we want to sample the darkest part then we want to add a bit more darkness to it. Okay, so we want kind of like hills or mountains. So if you're a traveller and you're coming down, then you can kind of, you know, you can look down over it. It's like, wow, they're huge buildings. I mean, I've always liked the idea of big scale because, you know, I believe that the human race is lazy, that we don't make these sort of things, and we can only ever paint them out and draw them in our imaginations. You know, and there's great pioneers like George Lucas and, you know, Peter Jackson that shows us these sort of things, and I'm a true believer that we should always have these sort of things. Okay, so, you know, we've established the buildings in the shop. And now we're going to add a sun, I believe. So with the gradient we're going to change the option which is up here. Change that to white, put it in there. Okay, it's a bit bright at the minute, so we're going to drag down the opacity. I'm going to bring it lower on that. Whoa, where are you going? Let's delete that. Do it again, down here. Okay, there we are. Okay. I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to add our actual sun this time. I'm not going to take it all the way down because you can't actually see it. It just looks really bright, so we take it halfway. Because when you look up at the sun, you do actually see the disk of the sun. So we want to definitely incorporate that. Okay, so above the gradient, I'm going to add another layer. You know, just some more mountains into the distance. I'm going to drag the opacity down on that, so it gives even more depth. Okay. Cool. Now we're going to add some colour to the shop, so we're going to go to the top, add a new layer, get the most outrageous red we can find. Oh, put it over the top. We're going to change the layer options which are over here, and we're going to put that over on colour. Okay. And then when we've done that, we can go to image adjustments, hue and saturation. Okay. Then from the hue and saturation, we can adjust everything. So we can adjust the darkness and the brightness, colour, how saturated it is. But I want this place to be quite muggy and brown, but I still want it to have sort of alien aspect to it. So I'm going to add a bit of red as well. Okay. Now we still have, I like that. I mean, it's starting to work. It's pretty good. Gradient. Okay. Now that we've got to this point, we can drag the gradient down a bit and put a bit more definition into the shot. Now a quick tip that we can do, the quick thing that we can do, is I always add a character, and the reason why I always add these little people walking around on these sort of shots is just to give a sense of scale. And so if these guys are this big and they're in this foreground, then that thing behind them is huge, and that thing over there is even bigger, so it just makes them mountains over there look absolutely colossal. So yeah guys, from that, you know, you can really take it a bit further. I mean, I've added an extra 10 minutes here just to, you know, kind of speed up the process, because obviously I've only got 10 minutes on YouTube, which is nice of them, nice and restricted as always. But yeah, so this is an extra 10 minutes, and all I've done, I've added, you know, I've added a texture over the top, a few clouds, you know, the people are a bit bigger group, you know, it's nothing more crazy. It's like an extra 5-10 minutes work. But even though after 15-20 minutes this shot is quite well established, I mean, you get a sense of how big things are, the sense of scale, the size, the atmosphere. You can tell it's not on planet Earth and things like that. You know, it establishes quite a lot. For 15-20 minutes work, that's, you know, that's good enough. So you can imagine how much you can get done in an hour. So yeah, I hope this tutorial gives you a good insight to how speed painting works and why we do it, anyway, I should say, or why it's done. You know, try it out yourself, you know, send me in, you know, message me what you can do and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I might be doing more of these, depends how popular this video gets. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it guys, and I shall catch you later.